Romans chapter 13, part 2. And if you listen to the first part, you should. It's about submitting to government and paying taxes. One thing I should say, we have the blessing of, in America, being able to vote. So make sure you vote for good rulers that will do what we need them to do, which is punish evildoers. Starting in verse 8. Owe nothing to anyone except to love one another, for he who loves his neighbor has fulfilled the law. For this, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet. And if there is any commandment, it is summed up in this saying, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor, therefore love is the fulfillment of the law. Do this, knowing the time, that it is already the hour for you to awaken from sleep. For now salvation is nearer to us than when we believed. The night is almost gone, and the day is near. Therefore, let us lay aside the deeds of darkness, and put on the armor of light. Let us behave properly as in the day, not in carousing and drunkenness, not in sexual promiscuity and sensuality, not in strife and jealousy, but put on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make no provision for the flesh in regard to its lusts. So this is just I've what is the word, postulated. I've considered, what would it be like to be the president, and like what would I bring to the table if I was president? And I'm like, well, ultimately, and this just applies. There's a thought experiment that then applies to all of life, because you think about something really complicated and it's easier to do just the simple day-to-day things. And it was, just love your neighbor as yourself. And that goes through everything. You start with your actual neighbors, and then your community, and your church, and then you can go into your county, your region, your state, all the way to America, and then the world. And this is actually an interesting thing. This is the reason we want to stay thinking about those closest to us, because it brings us more joy. The other things are important. What's going on, donating to missions in Africa is important, but you have to be focused on what's close to you, because that's where God made us communal. And so we need that local attention, but we can still send outward. So love your neighbor as yourself, and just put on the Lord Jesus Christ and make no provision for the flesh in regard to your lust. So just simple but good.